Hello, everybody. I am recording this as Pluto enters Aquarius on November the 19th. And this is a place he'll be until 2044. And I thought we would go back and take another look at this from the perspective of what I'm going to call your triad of great distinction or power. In essence, as Pluto moves into the sign of Aquarius, an air sign, the sign of the water bearer that pours its healing waters on humanity, Pluto also lights up the two other air signs in the sky. That is the sign of Gemini and the sign of Libra. And in essence, this triangle becomes extraordinarily powerful in your life over the next 20 years. And it's different for each of us because it's going to be based on your rising sign, your sun sign or your moon sign, whatever you choose to listen to today, where this triad of extraordinary significant power energetically applies. And in today's video, I want to really cover how this opens up for that first year of Pluto in Aquarius, particularly through till next summer. So this is kind of a tighter lens at the storyline of your new triad or trigon of power and where you might want to use this energy proactively. And also Pluto. Let's just remind ourselves, I know everyone's like anxious around Pluto. I'm happy that Pluto's in Aquarius because I know with Gemini ingress of Uranus next year, Uranus goes into Gemini on, I think it's around July the 7th. We're going to start to see more disclosures and more information coming out about AIs, aerial phenomena, AIPs, alien spacecrafts, reverse engineering technology. And this is already happening. We have had, the David Grush stuff. And then we had the fellow testifying before Congress just around the time I'm recording this, just before November 19th, another person. And we'll see whistleblowers coming out as well. That's what excites me. I fully expect that we're going to find out so much more about our place in the world, and the truth is out there and the X-Files become real. So that's got me more enchanted than anything else. I don't want to disqualify Pluto and make him just a cheerful guy. I apologize for that sound, because of course Pluto is power, transformation, crisis and conflict that engenders growth. And, with Pluto right now forming an opposition to Mars, and we'll talk about that shortly in January and in April, I have some thoughts about that as well. Before we get to that, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac, whole sign houses, and of course fixed stars and minor asteroids are always a part of how I delineate astrology when needed. And Pluto right now, as I speak, coming into Aquarius at 0 degrees of Aquarius, will be on fixed star Aquila, the eye of the eagle, and the constellation of the eagle. And that is a star to do with war, victory, and military conquest. And thus we are seeing a lot of those stories playing out as Pluto has crisscrossed the 0 degrees of Aquarius. And that star, starting back in March of 2023, through to June, back again, most adeptly crossing that star again, from back in January of 24 to September, you really lingered around that star. So we unfortunately have a lot of war going on in our world right now. Pluto is not the nice guy all the time, if ever. Everyone who's a Capricorn sun, moon, and rising has lived through the 2008 storyline where Pluto moved through your sign and you got the power of Pluto and the decimation and difficulties that you went through as well. But it is ultimately the archetype of a planet of transformation, regeneration, catharsis, and that deep inside out change, like that old cliche of the caterpillar and the butterfly, the death, the rebirth, the phoenix that rises from the ashes, the snake that sheds the skin, cliche upon cliche, yet it is how Pluto operates. Now, he is the god of the underworld as well, and he has to do with riches and wealth and power. And I'm going to read a quote for you guys about power, and it's by the old Chinese sage Lao Tzu. And he says that mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. And I really feel that is the intention of Pluto as he moves through your sign, where your sun sits or your moon sits or where your rising sign sits. So that sign where Pluto sits near your sun, moon, or rising, for example, if that's happening to be appropriate for you, Aquarian, sun, moon, and risings, your message from me today is mastering others is strength, but mastering yourself is true power. And so that is my hope for each of us in an Aquarius placement over the next 2 decades, that we learn that lesson. Because otherwise, Pluto exterior, Pluto put into action in the outer world, would look like domination, control, brutality, tyranny, dictatorship energetically. And each of us Aquarian people have the potential to take the inside out, mastering ourselves with true power, or push it out there and become that dominator or that powerful force that other people will likely not enjoy. How do you listen today? Sun, moon, and rising? Well, your sun sign can be about career and purpose, also your father and father figures. Moon sign can be about mother figures, but also your home, nest, and your mental, emotional complex. Like, how do you feel and think about your world, And then the actual ascendant is more like the avatar in a simulation. You come into this world and you take on the form of the rising sign where the eastern horizon was lined up at the time of your birth and your first breath, and that sign becomes the character. You might look like your rising sign. You may you have a comportment and temperament. Like, I'm an Aquarius rising ruled by Saturn. I'm lean. Aquarius makes me very Spock-like, very analytical. I like humanity more than humans, that kind of thing. That's the character of Laurie. The central core of Laurie is Aries. I am a fiery Aries sun. I'm a fiery Aries moon. And those are how I feel and think impulsively. I'm hot. I'm like, don't you dare criticize me. I'm also, highly defensive, right? Because I'm Aries. I got the ram's horns on here. And I like, don't you diss me. So I'm learning to cope, with trolls on YouTube because it doesn't sit well with the Aries fighter within me. But the Spock-like nature, or the more mental and sort of broad brushstroke energy of Aquarius, who are like, it's a mental sign, as an air sign, who concerns itself more with the groups of people and humanity than, let's say, individuals and inner reflections. Anyway, that part is my character. So each of you here today listening for your sun or moon or rising, you can try all three and learn over time where your operating system is coming from. I tend, as I've been getting older and older, to act more like my sun sign. And I look back in my life and I think probably the first 6 or 7 years of my life, I acted more like my fiery sun sign. And then as maybe acculturation and family system stuff built up, I became more like Aquarius. I'm coming back to the fire. So in your own life, think about your history. What have you been doing in your life? Are you more like the character of the rising, or are you more like the sun? Okay, we're going to go ahead and do every sign today. This is being recorded November 19th, as Pluto is currently like a smidgen from entering into, this is a Vancouver, Canada vibe, or I'm out in the mountains, actually on a mountaintop, but we're just about on that cusp as I record this. So I'm going to be welcoming in Pluto to Aquarius halfway through this video, but I'm recording it on the 19th. It's going to be aired on the 21st. So please like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. I've done another deeper dive Pluto video that's in my Pluto playlist. I didn't cover the content I'm going to cover today and the way I'm going to cover it. This is something that really excites me because I think that we forget that the sky is connected. These are called air houses. It's called air triplicity. And you cannot have a big energy like Pluto enter into air for 20 years into Aquarius and not have it impact the Aries, the Gemini, and the Libra triangle in your sky. And it rotates depending on your rising sign, sun sign, or moon, depending which viewpoint you're listening to. When we say your sun sign, is as if we put your sun in the first house and treat it like the ascendant, or the moon in the first house and treat it like the ascendant. It does work. It's a derived house system. But of course, your rising sign is more accurately exactly what I'm talking about. But listen for all three. Well, I'm going to show you the sky, and please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because I had a huge slush dump out of my channel once I failed in producing the right result for the election for the people who were hopeful that Harris would win. And I just listened to Dan Waits of World Astrology Report give his lowdown reflections on the election process, in which basically two-thirds of all astrologers predicted Harris would win, and one-third got Trump. It was in the astrology looking quite 50-50. Okay, that's what he also reiterated. But he also said, this energy, is still in play. I mean, I'm not saying that Harris will be the next inaugurated president. I do not think that will happen. But but we do want to say that with, Mars going retrograde and Mars Pluto opposition on January 3rd, I'll be doing a video about that. And another retrogradation of Mercury. Retrogradation means go back, right? What has come forth must go back. And Mercury's been in shadow since the 7th of November. So there's something going on around election season where there's a retraction, a revision, or rethinking, all of that. One thing I want to mention is that Dan Waits mentioned this. I know that my teacher, Adam Ellenbus, I believe, also had a call for Trump in a Horary chart. But I also did. a Horary chart on November the 1st, and it said that Trump would win. Horary is a divination tool. I don't want to belabor this, but I felt as if something had shifted in the air. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with reality shifts, because although I was seeing Trump probably winning before Kamala Harris stepped in over Biden as a candidate, then as time went on, I was less clear, less sure, less certain, and I tended to deviate to Harris. But I want to mention a reality shift concept. Some of you know about the Mandela effect. Some of you know about multiverses, like the Man in the High Castle, how reality can bifurcate or shift into one of two directions, and then we split off like a fractal into a new universe. I'm someone who's had really acute experiences with that, including also the Mandela effect being very active for me consciously in the last decade. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. And I remember saying to my partner, like October 31st, something shifted. And then on November 1st, I did the Horary. And I said, I'm shocked, but Trump's going to win, not just from the Horary, but I just knew it intuitively. And I found it interesting to hear Dan Waite's World Astrology Report. I managed to catch his video today saying he had the same thing happen. Like he had a feeling all along. He was like, yeah, Harris is going to win. And something shifted. And he said within a week or two before the election, he suddenly knew it would be Trump. So we are not prophets. We may be oracles. We're trying as astrologers, prophets, seers, or oracles, take your pick. We are fallible. But what if like there was a sort of bifurcation in the universe where it was meant to be or was going to be, or it tended to be looking like a Harris win, and then some kind of, what do you want to call it, timeline split or divergence happened? And even the betting, you know, those betting things, those guys who were doing all the betting shifted really dramatically towards Trump in the week or two before the election. And so did the markets. And it's as if something turned, like a corner turned from one direction to the other. Just a thought. And if you want to entertain that, great. I'll be doing a big video about artificial intelligence and aliens and Pluto coming up. I can't wait to make it for you guys. I'm also an experiencer. I've seen UFOs, and I've also been in touch with non-human consciousness abducting me, in quotes. So I'll be telling you more about that coming forward. I have a lot of background, guys. I was a remote viewer connected to the fallout from the Stargate project. I have a lot of woo in my reality sphere. Don't forget that like and subscribe helps me grow. I was going to try to reach 100,000 by the end of the year. I won't because I got literally, like if you were racing ahead in a car and someone put the parking brake on, that's what the election fallout did for my channel. So if you do like me and you haven't subscribed, or you have subscribed and you don't know if you're still subscribed, go check. And that will help this channel a lot thrive, so I continue to create content. Now, let me show you something here. And some of you ordered my all signs bundle or my individual signs for 2025 fundraising horoscopes. They're still available in my description box, but not at the pre-sale price. If you haven't gotten this in your email box, a lot of people are getting blocks or bounces. Please email me at lunaticastrology@gmail.com. That's my go-to email, or get in touch at Lunatic Astrology. Those are ways to get a hold of me. I've sent the content out 3 times. So it has been mailed out. And if you haven't gotten it yet, you need to be in touch with me. Your spam filters, your blockers, something is going on there. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to show you the sky, and then we're going to do your sign. I really don't want to talk world astrology today. I'm not in the mood. I'm up in a mountain cabin. I'm really enjoying the snow. I'll show you a picture of the mountains. Okay, just near. If you stay tuned, I'll show you at the end if you want to see where I am. I'm up at Whistler, Canada, and it's just beautiful here. So let's talk about the sky. Take a look at this picture. All right, just take a look at what you're seeing here. You notice that this is coming, right, guys? We're having a mini grand trine that's epic. It's like it's thousands of years old. And this mini grand trine that's going to form in our sky happens when Uranus slips over by a sign-based trine on July 7th into the sign of Gemini. And we'll have him, Uranus, the change maker, the great awakener, the electric currents of shock and awe, invention, innovation, moving into the sign of Gemini on July the 7th. So let's just move us forward so you can see it. Because when I talk about your triad of power, this energy that's going to activate for you, remember, true power is mastery of the self. It's going to look like this triangle is also wide awake. So this triangle you'll see next summer in July, because I'm doing the first year of this story for each of us. You know, this is going to be when This mini grand trine, miniature grand trine is very auspicious, activates. But there's another story I want you to be aware of, and I will cover it for your sign. So we'll be talking in the all signs. I'll be saying like, and then once we move into midsummer of next year, this is the new energy that starts to become alive for each of us. And interestingly, because Saturn and Neptune are just testing the waters of Aries and will not be there forever. Neptune gets back into Pisces in October, and Saturn September 1st, October 22nd, September 1st, they slide back. This is a testing from this fall to next fall of this mini grand trine for each of us. So we'll bring that up into the storyline this November through to next kind of September, because we want Saturn involved. We lose the trine, but we get this mini grand trine, outers and Saturn anchoring it here as an inner planet. But also Jupiter up here is going to leave behind the sign of Gemini, the air sign of Gemini, on the 9th of June. And that means that until next June, we have that planet here, Jupiter, in the 8th house. And that is an indication of a very auspicious whole sign trine between the benefic planet Jupiter and Pluto as he tests the waters of Aquarius from November 19th to June 9th of next year. So your triad or trigon of air power in your chart has a Jupiter safeguard or a Jupiter fairy godfather or a Jupiter protection plan. Okay. So the first year of this story, and we'll have that one more time between 2044 and now. Okay. We'll have it 12 years after, this story that we're in now. So we'll get two of these in our 20-year cycle with Jupiter and Pluto in a cooperative conversation with each other. So let's start with the Aries sun, moon, and rising. And I'm going to show you the view now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. No, I'm not, because I have to unplug my microphone. So I'll show you this incredible mountain snow view as soon as we're getting done with this part of the story. Anything else I have to share with you guys? No, not really. My all signs are coming out on Sunday, whatever it will be, 24th of November. I produce videos for each sign still. That's about 25 minutes to 30 minutes per sign. So please do subscribe. I put a lot of love into the channel, and I would love to see it continue to grow. And let me know in the comments what you guys want from this channel. I'm not sure how many of you really care about the world astrology. And I'm not sure if it even harms my channel, algorithmically, especially because I have to use words that are controversial in terms of advertisers. The word like GAZA, you know what I mean? And so maybe I might not do that on this channel and create another channel for that. It's a question mark for me. So let me know what kind of content you prefer. Had somebody email me and say my content's too negative and they had to unsub after 2 years of listening to me. I hope I'm not that. I hope I'm offering you something of value, but let me know what kinds of things you'd like me to cover as well. I'm moving more and more into my own esoteric life again. And I want to share things like have an interview with, there's a few people I want to have on my channel who are like people to deal with Mandela effect, reality shifts, near-death experiences. These are passions of mine anyway. And I might create a new every Wednesday chat kind of videos instead of just astrology. So share with me how I can grow the channel by serving your needs and what you prefer. Now, and I will read my comments. I always read my comments, by the way. I still read and respond to comments. I don't hire someone. All right. So what I'm doing now is I'm moving into the Aries story. We're going to go around the dial. The key point I want to make is between November the 19th and let's say early fall of next year, the main thrust of your new triad of air power in your sky and how you might use this proactively as a prescriptive video, not as a foretelling video, what you might do with this new energy. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the Aries people. All righty, here we have it. This is Aries. Okay, so Aries, I'm one of you, sun, moon, and rising sign. Let's talk about what it's like for us during the first part of the story, November the 19th, through to about June the 9th, when we still have Jupiter hanging out in the third house. First of all, Jupiter, like Santa Claus, wants to provide benefits and good things for us. Wealth, prosperity, hope, faith, children, wisdom, knowledge, wisdom. He's just that guy. And he will be in your third house and direct motion by February 3rd, retrograde until February 3rd. And as he's going through this part of your sky and Pluto enters into your 11th house, the energy is one of cooperation, and it activates a very lovely vibrational frequency between these houses of 11, 7, and 3. These are the houses of ideas, of relationships, of how you meet yourself, Gemini, one-on-one, your own inner Jekyll Hyde relationship to your own self. Energetically, this is the house of you and others, whether they're your clients or your spouse or significant one-on-one Libran relationships. And this is your one on many, you and the groups, whether you are leading them or a part of them, your activities with others in group settings. This triangle of power is your triangle until 2044. And it is particularly useful to know that this is active in 2024 fall through to June 9th of 25, with blessings from Lord Jupiter, who will be here during this time. Energetically, you may find yourself expanding and growing in your ability to do also third house things. This is writing. This is communicating through social media. This is online media and traditional media outlets. You may also be very excited to do traveling because Jupiter is in a house of shorter distance travel and Pluto is powering up with him. So things to do with your travel and your writing and your social media and your ability to reach larger groups of people or influence larger groups of people are on the menu with support and blessings from Jupiter. It is the 7th house, though, which can also involve people, your clients, your marketplace, your audience. It also gets a triangle of extraordinary power. You felt some of this power already back in 2023, March to June, but we didn't have support from Jupiter. It's the Jupiter piece that I want to draw. You also felt this triangle coming to life, January 1st to September 1st of this year. Yes, you got a little Jupiter power. When did you get the Jupiter power? I might call this Jupiter power, Jupiter Pluto power, your Jupiter Pluto power. When did you get this Jupiter power? You got this Jupiter power cooperating with Pluto. Okay, cooperating with Pluto between January of 2024 and September 1st, but more acutely, I'm going to narrow it down for you. Between May, when Jupiter ingressed into Gemini, between May, alrighty, and September. So you might go May to September, May to the beginning of September. So May to the end of August. What happened for you? Because May till the end of August, you began to experience some extraordinary flow around matters to do with that third house. Did you write a book? Did you get a great glow up in your social media life? I did. I got that great July blast because I predicted Trump was going to be nearly assassinated, and I said a week before or after the assassination attempt. So I got a massive surge of subscribers from that. And honestly, your own energy, who you are, to apply to this energy of Pluto is that you're in cooperation. You're saying, I agree, Pluto, we're going to power up something as an Aries where we can reach larger groups of people and increase the riches and wealth or gains we are able to get from the 10th house of career, where Pluto is sitting, will also deeply transform our hopes, dreams, and wishes for our life. But one thing I'll say about Jupiter, if you had a good Jupiter result in the tiny little window of May to the end of August, whatever that was about on February the 4th, through to June the 9th is coming back. So rest easy. If it was a travel, it was expansion of your relationship with siblings, neighbors, aunts, uncles, cousins, third house people. If it was a writing project, it was social media stuff. It was some kind of glow up regarding matters of ideas that you had and you wanted to execute, or teaching and learning, right? Teaching a class or taking a class that's skills-based are what you were getting this beautiful support from Jupiter between May and September, back in its full form, its full strength, February the 4th or so through to June the 9th. What about the mini grand trine? And how does Jupiter support this with Pluto? Powerful new energies entering into the house of marriage, into the house of partnerships, and into the house of clients and business partners. That is a good story. You're going to like that story. It's one that you're going to experience for 20 years, but particularly blessed by Jupiter, this is a time to get married, create new business partnerships, reach out to a larger marketplace for the work you do in the world. The thing about this mini grand trine wedged over here, it's literally going to feel like easy flow. You know that button, that was easy? You're going to feel that was easy. That's going to be very active once Uranus joins in the fray fully in a sign-based way. So I will just say July the 7th to September the 1st of 2025. That's when we want to see this flow on steroids. Why did I stop on September the 1st? Because I like Saturn with Neptune. So that's where Saturn's also participating. Let's break it down for you. In the energy field of this story, it looks like what you've got going is that you are at the tip of this mini trine. You are the apex of this success story. It is about power when it comes to wealth from your career, earnings and gains from your career, and also your ability to be a larger influencer of groups or be influenced by groups, you and groups of people, you being Saturn, Neptune. I am going to give form and structure to what I wish to create in my imagination, my dreams, visions, and imaginal goals. Go read The Awakened Imagination by Neville Goddard. For you, this is important. Your imagination meets form and structure, and you're trying to see how easy it might be to make some of your dreams and goals a hardcore reality, bring it into tangible form. And so your imagination is a superpower. When you look at this triangle, also talking to Uranus, who will have ingressed over here into the beginning of the Gemini field of influence, that is a signature for making your dreams come true regarding online social media, influence, creative projects, writing projects, teaching and learning projects. I can tell you for me, I have deep code astrology stuff going on in the back end. I want to create a really profound astrology course. My Sky Reader is fun to teach. It's about timing your best life, but I would want to create something that's much more deep that allows each of us to go into seeing our truest purpose in our lives using astrology. And that deep code astrology vibration course is probably something I will be creating or teaching in the summer of next year. I'm only using me as an example, but anything to do with teaching, writing, or traveling can be authentically powerful for you. And it could power up a new significant power to your aunts, uncles, cousins, and your nieces and nephews, and your sibling, one younger than you, being a part of this intensely beautiful miniature grand trine, which brings fortune, luck, ease, grace. I always call it the grace triangle. I think I should just do that throughout this thing. I mean, a grand trine is sort of like I won the lottery, but the mini grand trine having two sextiles, which are the nature of Venus, and one trine, the nature of Jupiter, I call it the grace triangle. My own little lingo for it. So I made a mess. Let's continue and get rid of that. Clear all drawings. That's much easier, and move on to the next sign. And we shall keep on keeping on. So we're now looking at this sort of Jupiter-Pluto love up. So, and the triad of power for the sign of Taurus and how that might play out for you guys. So first of all, Taurus, the energy here is, and I'm just going to move the chart a bit. So give me a minute. I just want to make it a little less so the planets are not so offside. So give me a sec. So first of all, let's start off with this idea that before I even talk about your triad or trigon air power and how it connects to the Jupiter love up from Gemini, before we even go there, it would be important to notice that you're also getting relief from Uranus. I mean, Uranus entered your sign in May of 2018, full on in February of 2019. You've been going through a lot of redefinition of your fixed Taurian stubborn nature as unexpected events or recalibration through electric shock prods of identity. You've been changing your identity. Of course, if it's your Taurus sun, your career, Taurus moon, maybe your home and your feelings about life. But it's been a big energy to hold in, like Kundalini energy, to hold this electric shock, pineal gland, outside the box, Uranian field of energy in your own beingness, in your sun, in your moon, or your rising sign and element since 2018. The good news is Uranus gets out of there fully and says goodbye in 2026 summer, but we get relief for you here. And that's because, as I mentioned, on July the 7th, he enters into the sign of Gemini. And of course, I'm not going to remember off the top of my head, but it will be his return. Let's check it out for you because it's so important. When does he slide back into a Taurus for you? Kind of around, November 7th. Okay. So from July 7th to around November 8th or so, it's November 8th, you are out of the woods when it comes to this very powerful energy of Uranus that has been in your face, basically. All right. So I like this a lot for Taurus. First of all, in general, when you see, let's go for the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. I want you to think back, to May through to the end of August of 2024. How did Jupiter in your second house of earnings, work, possessions, financial resources, what did Jupiter do? Well, he was in a conversation, right, in that window of time with Pluto, because May, June, July to the end of August, that was a power up for you guys. My daughter got a dream job. She applied for a job and got it. This is work. This is career, your career house. So how did you experience this triad of ideas and relational air energy as a bonus for you when Jupiter was here, right? When Jupiter was here talking to Pluto, mid-May, June, July, end of August, that power is coming back for you in the same vibration. When Jupiter is direct, February 4th to June the 9th, the same energy is available. Now, Jupiter brings mixed blessings sometimes. He's in Gemini. He might bite off more than he could chew, but he also, when he's retrograding, may be pulling back from the outer goodies and into the inner world where you're actually assessing your values around money and work and power and prestige in work, this energy. But on February 4th, through June the 9th, it kind of might feel like May through August, end of August. Similar lucky breaks are happening with the money and work matters. This triad is your 6th house, 10th house, and 2nd house. That's new power structures that's in play for you till 2044 with different flavors as different planets travel around the zodiac. But in essence, you are going to succeed in the Artha houses. This is the material world prosperity houses. Your career, your earnings, and your money and your job, the way you do the work you do, are on the Pluto ascendancy storyline for the next 20 years. This is your triangle. This is what it is for you guys. And when I say about, this storyline, I could tell you a lot of things about the future. Venus will star point here. Yay, Venus, in fall of 2030. And she'll initiate some really luscious 4 years of really amazing success in your career. So, it's a bigger story, but in the short term, I'm going to just simply say, go back and listen. Do go back and think about, mid-May through to September 1st, how lucky or prosperous or good were things financially, maybe connected to bosses, authority figures, people in power in the workplace favoring you, you getting up-leveled financially or in reputation sphere of your career in some way. If you're retired or you're a student, what was going on in your Taurus life where you had a more positive momentum regarding financial matters and career matters? Now, the energy as well of the mini triangle is very, very critical because I'll call it the grace triangle, but it brings good luck and ease and flow to our lives. This grace triangle is activating here, and it's going to look like this story is very active in your life next year. We want to see Uranus having moved here on July 7th. Into the house of your money. And this is the rags to riches transit. Now, it can go riches to rags. You're going to have it for 7 or 8 years, right? And it's going to be full on in 2026. But it means there's like electrical accelerations of exhilaration around your finances. And you could also go the other way. It could, be that you've got a lot and you have a downdraft. It's going to be erratic, unpredictable, and unexpected surges and downdrafts in your financial resources. There's no other way to put it. You can work with it to create the surges by being careful. And it does up levels you financially. Bottom line, I'm an Aries rising. So all the Aries sun, moon, and rising folk I'm an Aries sun, have experienced this second house energy already. So as Aries sun, so second house for my sun is that surges and sudden surges of money in my career area of my life since 2018, 19, and that has been the case. Now, you can say you could be a rags to riches person. I'm not going to take that away from you. But what I love is Pluto. This is a very interesting energy because we add Pluto, riches and power, in the career and reputation sphere with Uranus electrifying surges of wealth for you. And the combination is extraordinary. Add this little bit here. This little bit, Saturn, Neptune, make your dreams come real, bring form and structure to that which you imagine is possible. That little combination of energies is really active when the two planets are side by side, right? So side by side, and that will be most active July the 7th next year to September the 1st. How can next summer, July through to September, how can you really make those dreams come true? What does that look like for you? And it really is a kind of energy where you're going deep. This is your trance states, your meditations, maybe your nighttime dreams. This is where you're in the deep soul work place as well. So you could also have a kind of dreams come true, financial escalation through foreign shores, foreign people, foreign lands, and your participation in those places. One more thing I want to say is that because Jupiter flows to your 6th house, and that is going to be true through to next June 9th, and it has cooperation from Pluto, you can get a pet. You can get a perfect rental opportunity for as a landlord or tenant renting a property. You can be able to pay off or pay down debts in a sudden and beautiful way with great ease and prosperity. So that's the other idea here. And Jupiter aligns with that possibility, including inheritance monies, by the way, as he witnesses your 8th house. So I would say that maybe between the 19th of November through to June the 9th, you could have a sudden surge of an ability to pay down debt. And some of it could be chunky money or inheritance money as well, or being able to pay down a bank loan or a mortgage or something like that. There's many ways that can happen. You could sell a property, but you could be debt eliminating in some massive way between November 19th and June the 9th. We want Jupiter's cooperation here. Let me clear the drawings and move into our next sign. And I will take a chocolate break shortly, but not before I get at least a few more signs. And someone said that I take all my chocolate breaks during Virgo. It used to be Libra. I don't know what's going on with me. All right. I jumped too far. All right. Now, obviously, you can see, guys, that Geminis are going to get a massive energy field going on here, right? All right. So let's talk about that briefly. Just like the Tauruses before you, who since 2018 began to be electrified by Uranus, it's your turn, right? So you're getting this electric energy July 7th to November 8th coming through the sky. Oh, that's when it's in the mini grand trine. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. So around July the 7th, Uranus will ingress into the sign of Gemini, and you're going to feel this energy. And let me double check that now, having a moment of doubt, because how slow is this guy moving? Yeah, it is. It is there. I think I moved ahead by a month by mistake, and I didn't really want to. So July the 7th-ish. Okay. 7th, 10th, around there. So number one, and I lost your sign. I apologize. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, we got to move ourselves through time and space in an easy way. And I'm thinking I'm not going to get you. There we go. So Gemini, talk to any Taurus sun, moon, or rising, because they're going to know what this is about. They've been living with Uranus, the redefinition of their lifetimes for 7 or 8 years, and now it's your turn. And this is testing the waters. But let's go back for a minute and let's talk instead about the beginning of the story. Jupiter, began to bless you like mid-May through to the end of August when he was in the sign of Gemini. And at the same time, Pluto was over here in your 9th house. So this trine that was about Jupiter at the time, Jupiter was over here. Jupiter was over here. This story was flow, ease, luck, expansion, and growth of your identity. You are Jupiter until June 9th of next year. You are the one who has magnanimous, leaderful, charismatic, kinds of Queen of Mount Olympus, King of Mount Olympus energy, and you are lucky. So when we have a Jupiter transit through the first house or near our sun and moon, we are just more lucky than we normally are. So Gemini sun would be lucky in career, moon, home, and maybe body and feeling, because the moon can be up your vital force body. And the ascendant, everything about your life was kind of golden touch. So keep it in mind. You've got it till next June. And it is like mid-May through to the end of August where this luck was exploding for you and you could feel how lucky you are. And Pluto gave you power, and he gave you the power from the Dharma house, right? And the house of one's truest purpose in life, the house of publications, the house of pilgrimages. I went on a pilgrimage. I have a progression in my sun. Progressions are not as important as your natal positions. A sense of power and powering up when it comes to matters to do with your spiritual philosophy, powering up when it comes to publications and book publishing. My progressed Gemini sun heard from an agent out of the blue who wants me to publish an astrology book. That happened during mid-May through to the end of August. The good news is for all Geminis, or going off to university or winning in a court case, these stories power up with luck again. Full force, February the 4th through to June the 9th, when we get Pluto still here, but we get Jupiter moving direct. So that's a prescription. How to use it, jump on it. Leap in the net will appear, go big or go home. It is a once every 12-year time frame, and it's very active for you, February 4th to June 9th. The other quality we want to talk about is this, of course, this beautiful, oh, and by the way, activates your house of romantic love, your house of children. Oh, that's not a very good triangle now. Is it your house, your fifth house of children, fertility, pregnancy, romantic love partnerships, creative projects, your own natural talents and abilities, and things that you wish to do with entrepreneurial business structures. So, of course, for the next 20 years, any Geminis with an entrepreneurial or creative edge, or are looking for the perfect love partner, and maybe in a far off land, love in a far off land, you might, ninth house Pluto, you might find yourself really lifting off. And if you are at all an artist of any kind, this is going to activate your creative artistic abilities for the next 20 years. This is your new Pluto triad. I want to mention that when you look at that fifth house, and you just say, oh, is it just my kids? Is it just my romance? Deeper beneath the surface is your creative, your procreative, your creative, and your divinely inspiredly creative. And that is where we get into the idea of manifestation, or being able to align a personal will with the spark of the divine will. There's an energy that allows for that for a lot of Geminis over the next 20 years to really become will powered up with more of a make it so manifestation vibration here. All right. And a return of wonder, innocence, and awe to your life in a way that hasn't ever been here before. And you can use that wonder, innocence, and awe with Pluto power. So I think a lot of Geminis may, look at, education, going back to school, teaching, being professorial, getting book publishing deals going, aligning with their highest calling, their Dharma of their life, being on a Dharma track over the next 20 years. The mini trine brings grace and goodness. And when I want you to pay attention to the most is the window of July the 7th to September 1st next year. That's because we have Saturn and Neptune at the peak of the triangle together, July 7th to September 1st, 2025. And your Pluto power wants to work with that. It is like you are going to be able to accomplish something in the house of great gains from your career. Reputation is up there in terms of groups of people, influencing others, being influenced, belonging to new groups. If you are experiencing make your dreams come true, the 11th house is your wishes and dreams and goals. And now we've got concretization of Saturn and visionary Neptune. Certainly, if you're in a field of endeavor that involves anything Neptunian, photography, filmmaking, storytelling, art, music, videography, social media platforms, then this is going to be amazing. This is an area of great success. But in general, you're also thinking about the fact that, because don't forget, Jupiter was already here, and now he's in your money house. Will he be for a year? June 9th out a year, next year, you're doing well with your prosperity stories as well. So it looks to me like a lot of you will find a new group to belong to, some kind of structure and community that may feel like you finally met your wounded Chiron, your tribe. So moving into like your community, your tribe, your groups of belonging with great authentic dharmic power, that's how you are doing it. And you're also willing to break the rules. You're the revolutionary, the rebel, the one who just cuts through the dross, cuts outside the lines. And what is this new group that belongs to you or you to them? Are you leading them? Are you joining them? Are they international? These are things that Geminis will be considering July 7th to September 1st in this new triad of Pluto power. All right. Yeah, it's an early break for chocolate. Hang in there. All right. Chocolate break has been absorbed and we're moving back into, I need to sponsor chocolate on this channel, guys. All right, here we have it. Now, we're moving past the Geminis and we're going into the next sign. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. Get ready. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is a new triad of power that you're going to experience for 20 years. We're going to focus on the next year ahead, what some of the highlights are as you end up with a big activation here in your 12th house of your spiritual life, isolation, self-undoing, jails, hospitals, but also more like your enlightenment. Your enlightenment is pending here. Electrical currents will hit you and you might end up enlightened. It could happen, right? Let's not discount enlightenment is on the way for anyone who's a Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. This is a powerful zone of influence. And what we also notice is that this is happening and this is happening. This triangle becomes a highly activated zone for you through to 2044. This is chunky money. Now, you know, it's that unearned income. You didn't make it in your paycheck. You got an inheritance, a spousal separation agreement, a shareholder in a company, your stock took off, you got royalty income from the publishing company, ad income from YouTube. That kind of shared resources is where this is going to power up for you. But this is also the house of death. We can't pretend that it isn't. And that means that in the next 20 years, a lot of Cancers will have a lot of wealth, but also perhaps experience a lot of death in their lives, of people in their lives. And that's just a reality. You know, this is a moksha spiritual liberation energy for you. This is a 12, 4, 8, and you're going to try to look deeper within to remove yourself from the ancestral family of origin beliefs and structures and culture, to go deeper into the 8th house, which is the caterpillar butterfly house itself, and redefine your egoic structures to find the deepest, truest nature of you. And you may also be having electric currents in the house of your soul work. Your isolation is here because the truth is here. You can become Neo, unplugged from the matrix. So you have a lot of that going on. Unplugging from the matrix, yes. However, money you can make in this next 20 years too. You know, this is digital technology, Uranus. And this is the digital world in the sense that borderless revenue, international income, ka-ching, ka-ching. So a lot of you could be making, you know, international payment, PayPal, Stripe, payment processor system monies, or working for an international entity, or making money from someone in a foreign place, that kind of stuff. That's very practical. You know, you'll notice that Pluto and Uranus continually will be flowing, you know, to your 4th house. So you may have some positive but erratic changes regarding where you live. It may be a lot of shifting, and you may, in this kind of story, even change your mind about staying in your country of origin or where you live now and change your country of residence in the next 2 decades. Now let's bring it back into the closer time frame, the focus of the next year. First of all, the beginning of the story is very Jupiterian. If you go back to like around the 3rd week of May, I think it was the 25th of May. If you go back to around May 25th last year through to September, through May 25th of 24, we're still in that year. May 25th of 2024. I hope I didn't say last year to some of you. You know what I mean, right? Because this video goes into next year. May 25th of 2024, right? May 25th to September the 1st, both Pluto in Aquarius and Jupiter in the sign of Gemini were activating. And so, you know, Jupiter was back here. And this would have been lucky for you. And it would be luck that you experience between 12th house and 8th house matters. So it could have been luck regarding tax structures, or luck regarding spiritual awakenings, or luck regarding, investments in the portfolios you have, or some power up energy going on here. At the spiritual level, of course, it's just that illumination and spiritual breakthroughs that some of you could have been having the third week of May to the beginning of September, as both Jupiter at that time and Pluto were chatting with each other. Now, here, this story of that chat between the two of them will be re-enlivened and brought back to life on February 4th through to June the 9th, because that's when Jupiter goes direct. He's retrograding right now since October 9th to February 4th. There may have been a slowdown and all the good vibes you were feeling. And it is inheritance money, and Jupiter is in the house of hospitals. Maybe some of you got some inheritance money of some sort. Whatever goes on February next year through to June 9th, February 4th to June 9th, it could feel a lot like your life, like the May 25th to September 1st of 24 window. Okay, a continuation of that kind of theme of abundance or luck or success. Now, when I look at the mini triangle that we're going to have here, which is quite lovely, the apex of this mini triangle is make your dreams real. How can you bring form and structure to your career ambition and goals with your visions and imaginations, Neptune? And that is a story that really becomes alive for you July 7th to September 1st next year, when we have both of these planets up here, right? Because we want Saturn up here. He leaves, and then Neptune finally leaves October 22nd. I like the two of them holding hands, because Neptune alone without Saturn in the same sign could be fantastical and unrealistic, but Saturn is realism and fantasism come together. So some of you Cancers are realizing some cherished visions and dreams and goals for career success, mastery, and authority. These are Saturn words. And you're also getting money and resources coming from that, as well as international revenue, or something to do with profound shifts of awareness spiritually that lead to your career success. Saturn wants you to be authoritative, masterful here. He'll be back full time next February of 26, right? Way back down the pipeline. So you're going to hit a peak of 3 years of becoming authoritative, masterful, and successful in your career. And some of you may retire after those 3 years, starting in 26, 2.5 years. But this is a foretaste of that. And when I see the Uranus electrical current really cooperating with Saturn, Neptune, some sudden, shocking, surprising uplifts in your career, maybe July 7th to September 1st. And it will be financially positive. Ultimately, of course, you are lucky because look at that. June the 9th of 25, at 12 months, you are all about exalted Jupiter luck. So this is a lucky break in career success for sure, with a supercharged stuff. People from foreign shores and lands especially can be very helpful to you July 7th or to September 1st. And there's the money in the money coffers over here. Alrighty. What a hot mess. Let's clear the drawings and move to the next sign. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. This story here for you guys is that you're having this movement of the air 20-year cycle picking up steam. And this is where your new superpowers are, the triad of power, not just Pluto and Aquarius, but this triangle. This triangle is saying you're going to be very powerful when it comes to long-term committed marriage and love, business partners, and attracting, Leo, wealthy, influential people, or dominating, tyrannical, and controlling people into your significant sphere of others. This is why, for example, Donald Trump attracted Elon Musk, and Joe Rogan favored him at the end. That's the wealthy, powerful, and influential are coming into the orb of your Leo life. And that at the same time doesn't matter that it's just here. It powers up your third house of teaching, communicating, writing, social media sphere, the house of your siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, and it powers up the relational, idea-orientated air sign of Gemini in your 11th house, which is the house of great gains, influence over other people, becoming available to larger social influence. Either you're a movement maker with a bunch of rule breakers up here and iconoclasts and outside the boxers, a color outside the lines, be outside the box, freak flags. The type of people you create as a new influential tribe that you belong to are going to change as well. This is a very technological planet, Uranus. You might be involved in groups of belonging around AI and artificial intelligence or new forms of technology. So that's the gist of the next 20 years. Let's bring it in closer. What happened May 23rd of 2024 to September 1st, when collaboration existed between Jupiter? At that time, Jupiter was here in your 11th house and Pluto in the 7th. Did you, May the 25th to September 1st, have some expansion of your social groups and belonging with new people, new Jupiter people, maybe benefiting you, a new kind of expansion of a relationship to your significant to your sibling, one older than you? Or did you bring in like people who just wanted to help you? Jupiter is like fairy godfather in the house of dreams and wishes, and people you associate with in groups of belonging. And there's an energy of expansion of your career gains. I bet you made more money, some of you, September 26th, perhaps, or more promotions or raises to September 1st of 24. Now you will feel Pluto. Who are these powerful others, these wealthy others, these rich others? Or is this deep, profound transformation in a long-term, significant love partnership that's monogamous, that's stable, that's committed? And have you been transforming that relationship with the support of Jupiter people, guides, allies, mentors, benefactors? Let's face it, with Pluto in your marriage house, Leo, and it will be here, FYI, will be here for 20 years, you're going to have a lot of transformation through significant long-term love stories. And you have to watch out for those narcissists and those controllers and those tyrants, because they can show up in your story as well as just the very powerful. And you will be transformed through the relationships you engage in here. What about this third house? If you're an online social media person, if you drive, if you're like a commuter, if you travel, if you want to teach or learn, this will activate skills-based learning and power to use skills-based learning to increase your career gains. It's not a bad triangle for you over the next 20 years to go back to school to learn a trade or a skill that allows you to succeed more financially prosperous as well. February the 4th through to June 9th feels a lot like next year. Feels a lot like the goodness you were experiencing already in the smaller time window back in the day of May the 25th through to September 1st, because we get Jupiter in direct motion in February of next year through till June 9th, and you get a second wave of that love, of that goodness that you already experienced in 2024. I hope that works for you. Then we can see the mini triangle forming here. That's Uranus buried in my scribbles. And that's, of course, this. What is the Grace Triangle offering you, the mini grand trine? Well, it looks to me like you want to really come into contact with a more traditional spiritual path. Saturn, although he's in a sign of pioneering, it could be the new cutting edge of Catholicism, the new cutting edge of Islam or something, because Saturn represents traditions, and this is a house of God. And this is where temples and spiritual traditions lie. And you may find yourself July 7th to September 1st coming into community with a new spiritual tribe or new spiritual path. However, on a practical note, colleges, campuses, universities, book publishing deals, higher educational settings, legal court matters are also the 9th house, and foreign lands. It could be that you're going to get an acceptance at your dream school, go back to college or university, find yourself in the hands of a book publisher. You might get some kind of concrete or solid new spiritual path. Saturn's going to work on you, February of 26, add 2.5 years to come into alignment with Dharma and purpose. And if you do educate yourself, it's going to be for more purposeful work. Right. That's the vibration up there. And you're feeling July 7th to September 1st, a lot of this energy of this mini grace triangle, sudden lucky opportunities from allies and benefactors regarding foreign shores, foreign lands, visas, passports, travel, and educational settings, and your support from powerful others. And now this, of course, is you in your long-term committed love. And this is a foreign country or foreign travel. And this is, friends and allies and benefactors. Maybe you're going to travel to another country with your significant other. Yeah, you could, July 7th to September 1st, but it's got a deeper meaning than a trip. It's got something to do with increasing your great gains in your career and experiencing some deeply cosmic rewards of the 11th house. It can help you actualize some long-range goals and dreams that you might have been having about your position in the world and your educational path or your book publishing path, etc. Clearing all the drawings so that I can get through this before I go to a hot cold plunge and have a massage. So I've got 45 minutes to get through in the mountains, decompressing from getting my 2025 All Signs bundles and PDFs out to everybody. There's audio recordings and downloadables, and it's a lot of work. And you can get it in my description box below. I mean, if you get the bundle, you got 24 hours of content. Like, it's a lot of work I put into those. So you can still buy them. They're just not on sale. All right. So a Leo sun, moon, and rising sign. It is a story that opens up a bit of a yay-you moment here over the next 20 years. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is your axis of triad of power. Like, okay, where did it go? It's relational. You and marriage, you and one-on-one partnerships, you and one-on-one business partners, you and yourself, and you and groups of people become enlivened, and your ideas are going to be important to you, and what you think and what you ideate become highly active in the next 20. I just did you. Oh my God. Don't even ask. Okay, let's clear the drawing. I'm like, wait a minute. This is so familiar. I've just done it. Guys, I'm on vacation and I'm still recording videos. You can't make this shit up because the algorithm hates you when you stop. And then I've seen it happen to all of the other astrologers who took a break. I just can tell you, I know from experience what does and doesn't work in YouTube algorithm land. Let's keep on with the next sign. That was funny. I'm laughing at myself. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. So Virgo, go into the triad. Let's start with your Artha triad, or your material prosperity triad. Your work, your career, your money. Is the game afoot? Are you retiring? I don't care. It's like, what do you do that has to do with self-worth and self-value, increasing your financial worth, stuff to do with the work or service you want to offer, and you Virgos are of service, and the 10th house of reputation. Now, if you're retired, you're doing something. I don't care what. If you're a student, your reputation is how good a student am I. But everyone does something in this world, even if you don't have an official job. So the idea is being of service, being of purpose, seeing your visible actions and your goals and achievements succeed, whatever they are. That's the story for you guys. And it's going to last until 2044. This is a triad of your power and wealth and money and earnings. Energy-wise, the other thing I'd say about this is, what about this Pluto piece? Because Pluto is in a house that has to do with how you have karmic debts to service, and he's a god of death. You might be coming to a kind of like really intense period of relinquishing real life debt, you owe money, or karmic debt. Let's call it that. And the flow to the 10th house is going to accelerate work and career matters into surprising, erratic increases of success in your career and money and earning storylines. Let's also bring it into the time frame of a smaller story. Jupiter will be moving through this sign of Gemini, has been moving there since the third week of May last year, or almost May 25th last year, or 2024. So between the end of May 2024 and September 1st, what was happening that felt very auspicious for you? Because Jupiter was moving through your 10th house of career. So my Virgo rising daughter got her dream job, and that's exactly what happened. Luck in your career, but also with Pluto, power. A super beautiful power up in work and career matters that is exceptional. Now, it could also be like shifts around debt structures and work and payments, or matters to do with, a powerful boss or superior in the workplace really favoring you. And that, again, was May 25th to September 1st, 24. And it's back again, February 4th to June the 9th of 2025. I mean, it's still here, but we have Jupiter retrograde until February 4th. So when February 4th rolls around to June the 9th, you kind of redo a second do-over of the goodness you felt, the end of May to September 1st of 24. So you get a second wave of that super prosperous, super juicy energy. And it could be a raise, a promotion, an up level, a new job, your dream job, more money from the job, all of that. The mini grand trine, the electrical grace triangle, is available to all of us here. Now, it kicks in around July 7th to September 1st in this format, with both the planet of structure and the planet of illusion and dreams in your 8th house. Saturn here can indicate wealth from a passing or inheritance of a elder person. Okay, that's what it is. It could also mean new financial structures, incorporating new tax structures or new money structures regarding your investments, that kind of stuff as well. But the Neptune is like what the advantage is what were you wistfully dreaming, wanting to imagine into being here. And Saturn says, well, let's make it real. And the triangle is supported from a wealth god in the house of debts and karmic and real, and Uranus in the house of work and reputation. Now, this is the house of the father, and this is sudden, and this is the house of death, and this is the god of death, Pluto. So a very, very few of you may have a sudden experience of receiving money from an elder parent, okay, as an example, or elder grandparent in some way in the window of July 7th to September 1st of next year. This triangle also can really open you up to some exciting financial opportunity connected to the work and career sphere. And it feels like a dream opportunity, like the company that you work for is going to let you buy their stock at a half price deal. I don't know. Or, there's just something about the financial chunky money house that really says dreaming into being a long-term concrete strategy financially that can come true. And it does connect to work, and it does connect to servicing debts. So if you have debts and you're a Virgo, you can pay one off. If you want to share money with your spouse or significant other and you want to consolidate the monies together, that's the same story. That's the 8th house. And it can even indicate that your 2nd house from the 7th, your partner's money in love, is going to also have an increase that's surprising. And it may even be that your partner's money is going to get an uplift or a jolt, and it's not even yours, but you get to participate in it because it's a shared resource. So there you go. That's what I've got for you. And don't forget, your money house, your earnings house, continually gets love from Pluto and eventually love from Uranus, Uranus in summer of 26. So a lot of kind of like through the career and reputation access, just shocking jolts of power and wealth increasing in unexpected, punctuated ways, like, not steady, but like you could jump 2 levels in a job. You're not going to go into a story in a career mode, at least, of making incremental gains. There'll be sudden punctuated jumps, like punctuated equilibrium in the theory of fossil records. Because we didn't really have evolution. It turns out we have punctuated equilibrium. Species adapt, but they don't evolve from one species to another. Just in case you didn't know that, I've known that for 20 years. Go talk to someone who doesn't know that, and they'll tell you, no, it's Darwin's evolution. Moving onwards. All right, so Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. First off, the big thing storyline here is, what are you doing with this new triangle of power? How are you going to use it? This is your new triangle. You, a Libra, flowing to Pluto in your 5th house, flowing to Uranus eventually, and Jupiter was here. We'll get to that. The power in this part of your sky is going to be a 20-year axis of triad of power. Uranus will be here through 7 years up here helping out. Looks like you're going to do something like power up on your purpose, right? It's a triad of significance, as Carrie Caton calls it. It's a Dharma triangle. So you're going to align more with the call of the soul towards true purpose, creativity, inspiration, artistic creations, entrepreneurship, alignment with your Dharma track, spiritual philosophies that are outside the box, religious structures or spiritual structures that shock and awe. Certainly Libras can get highly excited by book publishing, higher education that's outside the box. Yay, this is your next 20 years. But also Pluto in the 5th house can bring a deeply transformative relationship into your life. If you're not using it for creative art that's transformative or entrepreneurial wealth, then you're going to bring in a very, very powerful story to do with how you relate to love, romance, sexuality, and your children. Now, Pluto is a big energy, guys, and it could be like, I've always been gay, but now I'm straight. I've always been, there's something that wants to deeply transform in that romantic part of your life over the next 2 decades. The beginning of the story, let's pull it back. Let's really call it back a bit. And by the way, let's just pull it back a bit. Let's talk about the Jupiter story. I want you to go back to around the 25th or 6th of May of 2024 to September the 1st, because in that window of time, you had both planets, Pluto and Jupiter, collaborating. And you might have felt very lucky. And you might feel very lucky when it came to pilgrimages, long distance travel, publications, book publishing. That's where Jupiter was, end of May through to September 1st. And it could have indicated success in legal matters, educational endeavors, etc., and foreign lands being highly prosperous for you. And that energy was available to you, and it was flowing to Pluto in the entrepreneurial, creative, muse-driven house. And if it was romantic, some of you might have had romance in foreign lands, or new transformative love stories connected to travel. But then we want to go jump ahead to February the 4th, 2025 to September the 1st, 2025, when both Saturn and, sorry, no, back it up. We're going to go to February the 4th, 2025 to June the 9th, 2025. So February to June, okay? June the 9th, 25 is when Jupiter and Pluto do the same thing again. So I'm not going to re-describe it. Yeah, I already told you. What was it like? May, end of May to September 1st of 24. It's back again, February 4th to June the 9th. The same kind of luck applies liberally. And I love this because don't forget, June the 9th next year, add a year, Jupiter gives you great success in your career. Super blessed, super lucky, golden Midas touch, career endeavors are going well. But then we move forward into the next Pluto story. Pluto will, between July 7th and September 1st, be engaged in a very auspicious, thousands of year rare mini grand trine. This mini grand trine is going to be around for a couple of years. But what I like about July 7th to September 1st is you're getting Saturn and Neptune cooperating in your 7th house of marriage. Ultimately, if you're looking for lasting love, enduring love, reliable love, structured love, Saturn, Neptune, soulmate love, it indicates some of you, July 7th to September 1st, could meet your soulmate. If you're in a relationship, this is like, let's get married. Let's make structure and form and dreams come true. Let's get engaged. Let's set a wedding date. Let's do the thing, September 7th to July 7th to September 1st next year. Because Pluto's involved, this is powerful transformation through romantic, erotic, and marital energies. And Uranus says, and shocking, surprising developments connected to far off foreign shores, visas and passports, spiritual faith and community. But this is churches, guys. So there's a wedding bell, synagogues, churches, mosques. Where do you guys get married? And this could bring erratic, sudden wedding proposals even. You might find this could open up your creative muse to do with publishings and book publishings and reaching a really amazing audience. This is your marketplace and audience. And you really find, whether it's a business partnership for your creative publishing opportunities, including podcasts, including book publishing, you could reach a fantastically dream come true marketplace, clientele, and audience for creative entrepreneurial publishing projects between July 7th and September the 1st. And if you're single and looking for love, and this thing activates for you a new love story, it's baking in the perseverance of Saturn. Like there's a feeling, Saturn is still direct, that this can become a love story that lasts. And I like the energy here for, we get fantastical soulmate love with Neptune, like twin flame universe, but that's all fantastical. You want the real, and this is the real and the fantastical joined together. Is it too good to be true? No, it's really good. This is a really good new love story if you're a single Libra looking for love. Otherwise, it uplevels your existing love stories to either more commitment or more true spiritual union in your marriage. All righty, let's keep on moving through the signs so I get to go to the hot cold plunge place and have a massage too, up in the mountains at Whistler. All right, let's get going. Hang on. So I had an emergency call from my daughter's friend. I just was checking to make sure everything was okay. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. Am I still recording? Thank God. So the triad of, the trigon triad of power for you guys is coming up with the Pluto storyline. Of course, you can tell I'm needing to draw here today. I'm in a drawing mood. Houses 8, houses 4 and 12. Yes, moksha, spiritual liberation and awakening are yours for the next 20 years if you want it, but also money through property, land, real estate, legacy wealth, and inheritances. Also, foreign shores, foreign land, digital income and revenue. And all of that looks good on you for the next 20 years, starting on November 19th, Pluto ingress into Aquarius. The bigger story we want to talk about, though, or the shorter term stories, actually, I want you to think about you and Jupiter. About May 25th to September 1st. At that time, Jupiter was in your 8th house of chunky money, right? Going forward in forward motion. And it's also the money you share with your spouse. It's also the money you get through inheritances and shared resources with other people, stock investments. Jupiter was heading forward in that part of your sky. And he was in a conversation with Pluto. Okay, so really, like whatever was happening the 25th of May through to September 1st with the cooperation between Pluto and Jupiter, refinancing a property, selling a property, buying a property. Did you remortgage a property? Did you get some kind of signal for legacy wealth, inheritances? I mean, you got it. Maybe you heard you're going to get it. Did you get some money from a mom or a dad figure? Funny, my Scorpio rising sun got money from mom and dad during that window of time. And we're talking, the end of May to the beginning of September to help fund a wedding, So where did the money come from? You should have gotten some chunky money. My son got double down, mom and dad giving him money. But it's also the inheritance transit too. So know that as well. Legacy wealth from family of origin, grandparents, parents, great uncles, or whatever. But it's back again next summer. It's going to be back July the 7th. No, it's going to be back February the 4th. I need a brain, guys. It's going to be back February the 4th to June the 9th. Is going to feel similar, some money coming your way, maybe from the family of origin, maybe from a real estate sale, maybe from a refinancing, renegotiating a mortgage, etc. And so look for a repeat of that energy in February 4th to June 9th of next year, 2025. The mini triangle, this little mini triangle right here, superpowers up this part of your chart. Now, we have debts here, karmic and real, like my mortgage payments, my credit card debt. And certainly Saturn is to restrict or constrain the debt, and Neptune is to dream and fantasize or imagine something concrete. Saturn is concrete. Fantastical is Neptune. Possibly Uranus, shocking, surprising. Pluto, power and wealth, elimination of debt. A massive opportunity financially to buy a house and restructure financial debt, a massive unexpected jolt of an inheritance. Now, Jupiter is in one of the father houses that is wealth from a father figure may emerge for some of you during that window of July 7th to September 1st. And we have these two together as well for work things, stabilization of work and service and job matters that are dreamy and dream come true, but involve some up levels and unexpected developments that are positive for your finances and for matters to do with your home. Like maybe you get a dream job that has you move to a new home, but it's cheaper where you live and you save a lot more money, but money, earnings, and home. Your significant other and the money you share, Uranus, in the home together to do with property and real estate could be another storyline. If you want to rent a property, rentals like landlords, leases, rentals, it's serfdom, guys. Okay, it's a house of indentured servitude and serfdom. In our modern day, we have a landlord and we have a tenant. So your landlord-tenant stories, okay, are here. A dreamy, dream come true, powerful, amazing, transformative new rental property opportunity, or you are the lease holder and you get to rent your property out, and the terms are extremely positive. There you go. Do you own stocks in the market connected to Pluto themes? Pluto and Aquarius, maybe crypto, maybe anything to do with Pluto, gold, silver. Maybe there's an electric current of increase in your stock portfolio on July 7th to September 1st next year. Don't use this as investment advice. It allows you to create debt payment replans or draw down debt or eliminate any debt you have. All right, so that's what I've got for you. Certainly, it's exciting and exhilarating. And with Jupiter in your ninth house, not only is it bounty from father figures, but great travel opportunities, great higher education opportunities, golden touch around publishing and book publishing. But it could lend itself to huge energies of success with judges. And if you're inheriting money, then you're going to win in the old probate course of action for sure. All right, just in case that occurs for you. Okay, moving on to the next sign. I have to clear the hot mess. And we move into the sign afterwards, which is, of course, do you know, guys, it's so funny. I sometimes I have to think about which sign comes after which. This is Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, your new triangle of power. There she blows. You're making it waves in the relational karma houses. This is about ideas and relationships. This is a triangle that is awake and alive for 20 years. And November 19th, it really comes into form. Add 2 decades. But we're talking about the 1-year arc of Pluto's triad for you. Now, the first thing I want to mention about this triangle is that there's a Jupiter story embedded within it that's really precise. On the 25th of May or so, 2024 to September 1st, 2024, there was a collaboration between Jupiter and Pluto. That was Jupiter here in your 7th house of marriage, long distance marriage, committed relationships, business partnerships, audience and marketplace. Jupiter was here and he was flowing to Pluto here. Okay, May 25th to September 1st. Did you feel lucky when it came to trips, travel, publications, writing, communicating, social media luck? Were you lucky when it came to powering up unexpected, shocking romantic liaisons through meeting someone new in an educational or travel setting? Did you have some wealth come to you through a business partnership connected to the online world and the digital world? Whatever was happening, it also could just simply be that you were really, there was travel, Pluto in the travel house. It was very transformative. But with that transformation, how did it impact how you relate to your business partner, significant other in a positive way? Or if you didn't have a significant other, could this have jolted you into a new relationship? And if so, how is it going? Now, you could also say massive transformation around the neighborhood situation that shocked and surprised you coming through the sky again, the 3rd week of May to the beginning of September. And this is back again in February, on February the 4th through to June the 9th. February 4th to June the 9th next year will feel similar to the earlier 2024 story. You know, this part of your chart gets a part of the triad, right? It's in the storyline. This is going to change in the next 20 years, you know, the way you have groups of belonging and friends and the way you create career gains financially. And a lot of that's going to ask you to get involved in social media, digital world, online world, probably. That's where Pluto's traveling, the media house, old school media, digital and social media. So some of you are stepping into that milieu over the next 2 decades, and it will increase your gains in your career by going in that direction in some way. Now, you know, the 11th house could radically change your groups of friends and social alliances, like dramatically in this next couple of decades, especially with Uranus in a trine. And you're going to find maybe new groups of belonging through new marriage partners or new relational partners, in which only, like, you know, you marry someone, you don't just marry them, you marry their family and their friends. And this could be a huge shift towards a more, I don't know, eclectic group or wealthy group of friends and allies through the connection to marriage and marriage partners. So if you're already married, fine. But if you're not, that kind of transformation through long-term committed love will be dramatic for you. That's what I'll say. Okay, very intense. Also, skills-based learning can really power you up. New kinds of courses and understanding that you take or teach can power you up to dramatic success with your audience and marketplace and influence of groups and belongings and greater career gains. Now, what about the mini trine itself? The mini trine is active, very active, July 7th of 25 to September 1st. Look forward to it. It's got grace and goodness. How are you making your dreams come true and solidifying gains in your entrepreneurial or creative projects and your relationship to your children and your romantic partnerships? And this is where things look really good on you, July the 7th to September 1st. Pluto says power, Uranus says shock and surprise. Electrical energy is going through. There'll be some dramatic turning points here, July 7th to September 1st. And yet it could be things like you're going to find that that book you wrote, that creative project you did, that screenplay, that musical project, or whatever the Neptune Saturn creative project is going to hit the marketplace with electrical shock, and it's going to be successful. Pluto, online world, is great for that kind of stuff. You could travel with a romantic partner, and it could have surprises for you that light up your life. This is about how to make romance conditionally solid, enduring, and lasting. So if you've been dating someone, then July 7th to September 1st, forget dating. You guys are going to say, we're committing, we're moving in, we're sharing, a monogamous commitment together. But the Uranian part is it surprises you. This could be a proposal from someone you're seeing to like make this a solid thing. We're not going to just be dating anymore. We're going to get married. Let's do that. Let's get committed. Let's move in together. Those energies, but surprise comes with it. You may not be expecting it, that kind of thing. This is positive. This is not about divorce, in my view. Okay. And finally, your children have surprises. Like, oh, we're getting married. I'm getting married, Mom. I'm engaged. Your children can surprise you as well. And next, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and rising sign. Let's get you in play. Cappies. All right, Capricorns, let's go with it. You are the survivors of the Pluto transit. You've come through the entire thing. It is a done deal. Forget about it. It's moved on to your second house of wealth. You'll get rich over the next 20 years or not, but it gives you the potential for wealth. In the meantime, Capricorn, we need to take a look at the fact that this triad is your new power source. You're now powering up on 10th house, second house, and 6th house matters for the next 2 decades. These are Artha houses: work, career, money. Work, career, money, power. It's so simple. I can't say it any other way. No other way to delineate it. Work, career, money, power. And that's you over the next 20 years. Now, in the meantime, the smaller story we want to bring in Jupiter. May the 25th to September, May the 25th to September the 1st of 24, Jupiter was in a collaborative direct motion union with Pluto. And Jupiter, at the time of this storyline that I'm telling you about, was here. And this means there was an incredible amount of up-level power and flow in your work and money story. And so many of you may be able to talk about it. Like, it felt good, it felt lucky, but it could also be powerful shifts in your dietary style that improved your health. It could also be matters to do with pets and rental opportunities that were dynamically successful and powerful and good on your finances. Now, if you're not working, you're retired, because it's coming back again for part 2, right? What kind of good things were happening here in regards to what you wish to do to be of service to the world, and the way it may have been aligned with vocational voice power. Like, I feel on my powerful call. I'm doing the thing I'm here to do. This is true for mostly for Capricorn rising, Sun and Moon secondarily. We're doing derivative charts here, but if it's your Sun, it would have powered up your financial success in your career. And whatever was going on back then, at third week of May to the beginning of September, it's back again. And now it's happening in February 4th to June the 9th, when Pluto goes direct and collaborates again with Pluto in a whole sign flow. So you might find February 4th to June the 9th similar energies next year. And, getting a new job, getting hired, finding yourself in a more successful position financially connected to work matters, or the elimination of debt, being able to accrue money that eliminates any debt. Or if you have anyone who owes you money, there's an indebtedness there that can return to you. And we're now going to talk about the next story here, which is this mini trine that's thousands of years rare. This starts to activate here between September the 1st, July the 7th to September the 1st. And this mini triangle says, I want a solid home. I want to know, Chiron's been wounding you here, right, since 2019. I want to stick the landing on a home. So this is where you are. Stick the landing on a home, July 7th to September 1st. A dream home, a dream come true home, July 7th to September 1st is a possibility here. And it comes from surprising work or career or debt reduction opportunities or debt repayment. And it comes to the money of the second house, which can be earnings. So this could be a job opportunity that moves you to a dream home, for example. But Uranus is also in the house of rentals. So it could be also a surprising new rental opportunity that feels like you're actually landing in a dream home. And Saturn is trying to find you a landing pad for the word home over the 3 years that really begin 2.5 years, February of 26. But you have intimations of dream come true home matters that are starting up. And with Jupiter over here in your 7th house, you're also being very successful through audience, client, marketplace. And this is like a move in, get married, get proposals for weddings kind of Jupiter transit. Single people meet their dream partners. Unsingle people meet the up level to moving in together, consolidating, buying a home together, whatever, getting married, getting engaged. And so that's going on the side as of next year's June 9th movement of Pluto, Jupiter into your 7th house. So offside of that, that is one story to remember. Jupiter does make your relational life and your clients and audience and marketplace life super successful. But this can literally look like a surprising change of home, but it's dreamy and positive. July 7th to September 1st next year. This is in Vedic astrology, this second house can be your spouse and your children, like the family you made yourself. And Pluto can be wealth coming from that family that allows for this change of home story or this landing of a new home. So we'll see what happens, but there's a surprise here. And this is a house of karmic debt. So surprising money coming from someone like a child or your spousal relationship as well. Okay, Jupiter means bounty for your spouse or from your spouse. So we'll see how that looks on you next year if you have a spouse. All right, Aquarius. Yes, I am indeed one of you. I'm a rising. So Sun and Moon, you count as well. We're the new spearhead. We're the lead goose for humanity. We are the keynote for the world. We are carrying Pluto on our shoulders. We become Plutonian. We are finding the source of power in ourselves. Lao Tzu, right? Power over others is strength, and power over oneself is mastery. How did he say that quote? I have to get it back for us. It's just too juicy because we are the ones who need to really Lao Tzu out. I mean, we have to carry it. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Once more, Aquarius is mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Sorry about the dinging, but at this point, I can't figure out where it is. Let's turn off my sound on my laptop. Volume down. Okay. So what we have going on is Pluto power. We are the dominating tyrant, controlling mafia boss, or we are the other energy, the one with the mastery of power within ourselves. And so we have power that's transpersonal, divine, evolutionary, and titanic to harness. That's a big demand to carry that energy. All Capricorns have learned the lesson already from 2008 till now. At the same time, our triad is the 9th house. And this is the triad of significance, as Gary Caton calls it, a friend of mine, astrologer. This is also what we would call in Indian astrology, Vedic astrology, the Dharma houses, one's alignment with calling and purpose. Every Aquarian out there listening to this, you have not understood the meaning of purpose, the call to be in alignment with your talents and gifts and dharmic stream of purpose in life. You're learning it now. Pluto is awakening this to a level of depth you have never felt before. Me neither. So who knows? And it says entrepreneurship, creativity, good fortune, luck. These are luck houses, 9 and 5. So you're luckier and you're more powerful. You're activating your creativity, your muse, your inspiration, your wonder and joy for life. You're activating 5th house pregnancy, children. You're activating profound, transformative, romantic love stories and entrepreneurial as well, businesses. And then this is book publishing, especially with Libra, guys. Libra library book. This is book publishing, podcast publishing. This is being on a pulpit. This is your spiritual life. This is your faith and hope. This is your religious experience or your spiritual ideology. That's all powering up. If you think you know your spiritual ideology now, you don't. because Pluto's going to tell you what it really is. And so in the next, 2 decades, this is the Aquarius story. Let's move into the short term. Go back to the 25th of May, and then I want you to add on till September 1st of 2024. In that tight time frame, there was support from Jupiter, Pluto for you in the area of entrepreneurship, creativity, fertility, pregnancy, and romance, sexuality. Okay. 3rd week of May kind of thing to the beginning, September 1st. Where did you power up here with wealth or power or influence or something? So I'll tell you, for me, because I have gone through the big burst of my subscribers in July and August, because I called the Donald Trump assassination, and I called Walsh as the VP pick, and I called Biden stepping down. And all of a sudden my channel got like 5,000 subscribers in each of those months, July and August, because it was during the Jupiter in direct motion through my house of entrepreneurship, talking to Pluto in the house of me. It's an example. What good things happened to you? Did you get pregnant? Did you find a new romantic partner? Did you have some money luck? Did you win the lottery? Lottery wins are in the 5th house. That kind of yay you comes back February the 4th to June the 9th next year. Count on it. It's going to be a trine that's sign-based, not exact, but it still has the same vibe. And so February 4th to June the 9th, Pluto in Aquarius and Jupiter now direct in your 5th house. Right? He's retrograding since October 9th. And boy, my channel's like, since October 9th retrograde. It's like somebody put the brakes on. Jupiter went backwards. So your own life. Maybe it was a romantic energy. Maybe it still will be. Maybe you'll find something to do with your children powering you up. Or maybe you're going to create a new project that's going to power up. So what will I do February 4th to June the 9th? I will probably be working on creating my summer course about astrology of purpose. And I can't wait to figure out all the details of how I want to teach that. Because after teaching Sky Reader, I found everyone wanted to know about the chart. They wanted to navel gaze. Who am I? What does this mean in my chart? And I said, I'll teach you how to time your life, best life. And everyone's like, I just want to know more about me. And so I've taught Sky Reader 5 times. And I understand now people are also very curious about themselves. So that's the summer course coming up. I'll just be making the course, probably writing it, creating it. Who knows? Maybe teaching it. So what are you going to be doing? Is it entrepreneurial? Is it creative? Is it winning money? I'll try to win the lottery then. Let me know. Now, the secondary story is the very rare mini grand trine forming right here. And that's going to be an apex of Saturn and Neptune in the 3rd house, a dream come true writing project, a dream come true travel opportunity, a real structured, visionary, imaginal dream come true regarding neighbors and neighborhood. Maybe you'll move to a new neighborhood. Why? Jupiter in the house of rentals, right? So talking to this dream come true. So that looks like maybe a dream move through a rental property. A dream come true regarding things you're doing. 3rd house can be teaching a course, creating a course, or taking a skills-based course. And this mini grand trine, July 7th to September 1st is when it's most active. Next year, 2025, gets shocking electric jolts from the entrepreneurial Uranus, from the creative, artistic, muse-inspired Uranus, and also Pluto supporting this. So a writing project, teaching project can really formulate something shocking, exciting, prosperous, and new in your life. Your sibling, one younger than you, is a 3rd house sibling. Your aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews may power up something surprising and shocking for you. Travel is a 3rd house, an unexpected travel opportunity to do with creative projects or romantic liaisons that also feel transformative and powerful. I love to know what this is going to be for each of us. Uranus gives us a shocking, surprising element. You could win the lottery. Surprise. Jupiter has moved on to your 6th house, right? So now you're being lucky and prosperous in health and work matters, just so you know. And that's that new story, or rental opportunities as well for property rentals, whether you're the tenant or the landlord. Clear the drawings and move into the last but never least, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. You know the drill, guys. Please give me a lift. I know Jupiter's retrograde till February, and this channel is like going down, down, down in its subs, not in its views, just in its subs. So I'm just going to breathe through that. I mean, I wanted to get to 100,000, and I probably won't, but eventually I will. Not this year, I don't think. But who knows what can happen in 1 month of content. All right. So, Pisces, you disappeared. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. First of all, what's your triad or your trigon of power that you're going to get for the next 2 decades? Let's remind us of the triad of power. Pluto is moving into your moksha house, spiritual liberation, isolation, hospitals, jails, and self-undoing. I say that. And then we activate the 4th house and we activate the 8th. These are all liberation houses from the dream, the matrix. This is spiritual stuff. Pisces can have a spiritual awakening or 1,000 of them. You get 20 years of them coming through the sky. Shocking, surprising developments regarding inheritance monies, wealth, prosperity, land property, legacy wealth, suddenly coming your way with Uranus. You didn't expect it, okay? It's like, I didn't know the great Aunt Susie had left me money. They forgot to tell me something unexpected there. I also would say that if you don't use the social media, digital world, online technology world, and this is the house of home, you may suddenly start to become very invested in that realm of reality in a way you've never done before from your home base. Wealth from foreign places, foreign shores, and wealth generated at home, online, through digital borderless income and revenue is a prescription for Pisces at this point, okay, in the next 2 decades. Now we have to move into the and wealth that comes from inheritances, but also spousal support, separation, divorce, widower, and widowhood. Just saying, life happens. Next 2 decades. Now let's get ahead and talk about the Jupiter story. There's a little sweet spot of the sky that happened in 2024. It was so lovely. May the 25th through to September 1st, both Pluto in Aquarius and Jupiter in the sign of Gemini were in a collaboration for luck and good things. And that luck and good things was home, property, land, and real estate, mortgages, financing, buying, etc. What happened for my sister, for example, a Pisces rising, that she and her hubby managed to sell their house and get a brand new house, and it all was like very lucky. It all happened like they couldn't sell the house forever. And then May 23rd to September 1st, they managed to sell the big old 4-square farmhouse and finally found a buyer, because it was like kind of one of those, what do you call it? Those kind of properties that need a special buyer. It needs a lot of work, Victorian 100-something 50-year-old home. So what I'm saying is that it looks like for my Pisces rising sister, it played out exactly like luck with property, land, and real estate. And maybe the investors were from a foreign country or had foreign land backdrops, because, I think they came from Singapore or something. So what I'm saying is it's very literal for my sister. So what did it do for you? Moksha, spiritual liberation, though, if it was subtle, maybe you had a spiritual breakthrough of some sort. And maybe you recognize your childhood was fucked up because, sorry, excuse my language, Uranus is giving you illumination, downloads, pineal gland insights about the traumas of your childhood. And maybe you had some profound downloads as well. Oh, Uranus isn't there yet. Sorry. But back in the Jupiter story, Jupiter was there, and you had bounteous insights about your childhood that got you to see through, see the half full cup about growing up in your life. Now, the second wave of this kind of electric current for success with Jupiter Pluto is July 7th to September 1st of 2025. You get wave number 2 of the same vibe. Okay, that's all I'm going to share. I don't know how it worked for you then. The mini grand trine, which is exceedingly rare and brings grace and goodness, is about money. Ultimately, you are Neptune and you are Saturn, and you want to make concrete gains, stability, enduring, and reliable money outcomes that are also dream come true that you've been hoping and wishing would happen in your life. But it does include the activation of surprising developments regarding land, home, property, real estate, and in legacy or inheritance wealth. It does activate the inheritance house across the way. It does activate your 12th house, foreigners, foreign shores, foreign lands, far off places from where you currently live. Or possibly, some unexpected opportunity or developments regarding digital revenue, foreign shores, PayPal, Stripe monies coming through something you're doing in the online world from your home. And suddenly there's this dream come true, prosperity flow. And you're like, wow, this stuff works. What just happened to me? You do have Jupiter in the house of good fortune next year, right? On the 9th? No. Oh, brain. Yeah, I like it on the Jupiter moves into this part of your chart on June the 9th. of 2025 to the end of June 2026. But you can see that during this mini grand trine, Jupiter is in a very positive place in the sky. He's in the house of good fortune, a house of luck. Luck for you, your children, luck for romance, luck for creative entrepreneurial projects. You've got all this luck, exalted Jupiter luck going on. Every 12 years it happens. You got it next year in your fifth house. Well, the mini grand trine, which Jupiter can witness, says more money. More money from your children, more money from your lover, more money from your creative entrepreneurial projects. Jolt of luck. And the trine is active July 7th to September 1st with the cooperation of Saturn. We need Saturn. Leave Neptune on his own and he could fantasize about shit. Have Saturn with him and it's like dreams, concrete, real, come true. This does not look to me like you get a job. Okay. This is not the vibe. This is money, luck, prosperity, energy coming off of, I don't know, family of origin, mom or dad give you some money. Maybe. A sibling too older than you. Jupiter's in the house of the sibling too younger than you. If you have a sibling too younger, some lucky money coming from that sibling as well. All of this continually also activates this part of the sky. So again, did a stock take off? Did an investment take off? Did an insurance or tax rebate look amazing and you're just shocked? Or did you refinance a property, buy or sell a property, or are you going to? Because those are all in play. And they're surprising, unexpected, but prosperous energies on July 7th next year to September the 1st. I am hot plunge, cold plunging. I'm off to a massage. I am going to decompress. Pluto, as we spoke, as I went through this video, this is on Tuesday, November 19th at 2 p.m. in my time zone, Vancouver time. I think Pluto's moved in to the story of, I think Pluto's moved in to Aquarius. Take you to the view and then I'm going to finish up. Okay. Just had to unplug that microphone. So my sound just got crappy, I bet. Here's what I'm looking at out my window. I remember somebody telling me never to do this because some stalker is going to find me. There are so many places in Whistler. Believe me, you're not going to find me. Oh, wait, I have to take off the background. How do I do that again? Give me a sec. Background effects and remove the background to the nothingness. All right, see, I'm in a little cute little unit here, and that is me in in the snow. In Vancouver, we don't get snow. So this is up on the mountain, Whistler, and we get snow. Bye, guys. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell, please, for notifications. And I have to figure out how to sign myself off. So I'm holding a laptop in my hand. It's so awkward. So awkward. All right. Ciao, ciao.